Salam and hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope that you are all doing very well. In today's video, I am going to dive into some food staples that can help support a good mood. Now, your mood might change when the weather changes or when there are certain things happening at work that might make you more stressed and less happy. Your mood might also change when things in your environment are changing or perhaps out of your control. But one thing I do want to mention is, if possible, pay attention to the food that you're eating. That way you can help support yourself, not only from balancing your neurotransmitters and making sure your blood sugar levels are balanced, and then you are eating, anti-inflammatory food so that you're not inflamed, but they also help balance your mood. They also help boost those neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine that can keep you in a good and stable mood. Now, this is not to say that this is your only answer to being in a good mood. This is the only answer that can help you get into a good mood. Of course, there are other things that are at play, as I mentioned before, your environment, even health-wise, things that are going on with you health-wise will play a role in whether you have a good mood or not. I hope I'm not rambling. I think I'm rambling. But just take into consideration that food is a good place to start when trying to boost your mood and to boost your energy and to stay healthy. So let's dive into the first thing, and that is fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout. Now, these foods are high in omega-3 fatty acids, which support brain health. They also support inflammation control, which I mentioned earlier, and that neurotransmitter balance as well. It's going to be important to consider that fish not only has these omega-3 fatty acids, but they're also good sources of protein that can help keep you full longer than, let's say, simple carbs or things of that nature. And don't forget, protein is very important for building and maintaining muscle. Many of the people I talk to, or many of the audience members that I talk to, are usually women in their 30s and 40s and above, and muscle strength and maintenance is very important. So I want you to keep that in mind, that not only are these types of fish good for your mood, but they are also good for your muscles. Another thing I want to also mention is that research has shown that regular consumption of omega-3 fatty acids is also good for depression. Now, if you are clinically diagnosed with depression and you are on a type of medication, that's a different story. I'm not going to get into that in this video right now, but this is just to say that omega-3 fatty acids, fatty fish, can be good for boosting mood. Now, the second food item that I want to talk about are your leafy green vegetables. Leafy green vegetables include spinach, collards or collard greens, Swiss chard, things of that nature, or even kale. I don't want to forget kale. Now, these leafy green vegetables are rich in folate, magnesium, certain B vitamins, as well as antioxidants, all which are important for supporting your nervous system as well as mood regulation. Don't forget that these items are high in fiber and they can help regulate you as well. I know sometimes when you're not feeling well, you're in a bad mood, and sometimes being bloated, constipated, and just having a distressed or stressed out gastric intestinal system, a GI system, can put you in a foul mood. So think about ways in which leafy green vegetables can help you as well. When certain folks are folate deficient, that has been linked to an increased risk of depression as well. So I want you to, or depressive symptoms. So I want you to also consider that your daily intake of leafy green vegetables should be perhaps 1 to 2 servings per day, usually at lunch and dinner, or you can use it in your breakfast. Maybe you're eating a salad for breakfast, or maybe you're putting it in your smoothie for breakfast. Just try to be diligent in getting leafy green vegetables in every day. Now, the third item that I want to dive into are your berries. You can see in my thumbnail that I have some blackberries on hand. Very, very good for you. And I'm talking about blackberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries. These are very high in antioxidants and flavonoids that help retain blood cells and your brain cells from oxidative stress, and they support healthy brain function. So if you are not eating berries every day, understand that you may not have access to fresh berries daily, or they tend to spoil sooner than you can get to them. Then buy some frozen berries, buy some frozen berries, because that way you have access to them, and that you don't have to have an excuse of, well, I don't have my strawberries on hand today, or I don't have blackberries on hand today. So always think about alternatives. If you don't have fresh berries on hand, dive into your frozen stash and get your serving in per day. Diets rich in antioxidant containing foods or produce are associated with better mood and lower psychological disorders. So that's something that you want to keep in mind as well. Now, the fourth thing that I want to talk about on the list are fermented foods or probiotics. And when I talk about these items, I'm talking about yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi. So I've tried all of these foods before. I am more prone to eating yogurt and the kefirs over the kimchi and the sauerkraut. Now, I can eat kimchi every once in a while. Sauerkraut, it's been years since I've had sauerkraut. And of course, I try to get in a daily serving of yogurt or a few times a week of yogurt, and kefir is every once in a while. But what I want to mention is that these foods, they support a healthy gut microbiome, which is very important. And many of you know that there is a gut-brain connection. So a good gut health supports mood regulation and may also reduce anxiety and depressive symptoms. So it's going to be important for you to try your best to get in fermented foods and probiotics. Now, fifth on the list, let's talk about whole grains, beans, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Beans and legumes are the same thing, but I'm talking about lentils, black beans, red beans, soybeans, pinto beans, all of those types of good protein-packed, high in fiber foods that can help you not only keep your energy up, but help you balance that fiber and protein that you need throughout the day. Sometimes we don't realize that when we're not eating healthily or we don't have enough energy, we can get into a foul mood or a sour mood. So please keep in mind that these are good, nutritious ways to pack on healthy food and keeping your energy up. Now, they also have a lot of B vitamins, which are good for brain chemistry, and they also help, the beans and legumes, they also help avoid blood sugar crashes throughout the day or at night, which can negatively affect mood. So consider including beans into your diet, and just be mindful of the amount of nuts and seeds that you are consuming, because they are high in calories. As good as they are, they can be densely packed with calories. So you're going to want to be sure to measure out your nuts and seeds and all of your food if you can. Check out this video here where I talk about the importance of using a scale and how it helps you on your health journey. I don't always measure all of my food. Like, for example, these blackberries, I don't always measure out my fruit, which, depending on the type of fruit, can be a little bit dicey, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's just important for you to start somewhere to understand how much you're consuming, especially if you are in a calorie deficit and you want to be mindful of the amount of calories that you're eating throughout the day. Now, there are other foods that I do want to mention that help support mood, and they are full of a lot of nutrients. So when we're talking about vitamin D, for example, we know the importance of vitamin D, not only for bone health, but for immunity. So when you're thinking about vitamin D and staying healthy, think about certain fish like salmon, for example, or egg and egg yolk, as well as fortified foods that have been supplemented with vitamin D, and they are linked to better mood regulation. Another thing that you're going to want to think about is consuming dark chocolate, but in moderation. Now, be mindful that the darker the chocolate, the more bitter, but the less sugar it has. So if you want to, for example, indulge on some dark chocolate, pair it with something that's a bit more on the sweeter side, perhaps a vanilla yogurt that is high in protein, and you can pair that off with some dark chocolate. And just know that dark chocolate can provide polyphenols, which are good for boosting mood and lowering stress through neurochemical effects. So those are some things that I did want to mention for you as well. Now, these foods matter because number one, there is a balance and support of neurotransmitters, and I'm talking about serotonin and dopamine, for example, and there are other brain chemicals that affect mood, but we are more aware of the more popular dopamine and serotonin, for example. So nutrients like omega-3s, vitamin B, magnesium, as I mentioned earlier, as well as folate, help produce and regulate serotonin and dopamine. Another thing I do want to mention is reducing inflammation and oxidative stress is going to be really important for us as we are aging, because we don't have not all of us have the capability to fight off infections the way we once did. Our cells are aging, we are getting older, so it's going to be important for us to eat as healthily as possible. And so we want to focus on the antioxidant foods that I mentioned before, like your berries, and also think about healthy fats that protect the brain cells from damage and inflammation. And also keep in mind that you're going to want to introduce these foods one by one. You're not going to buy all the fish in the market and all the leafy green vegetables. You're going to have a taste for one over the other. So if you have a taste for one and it's working for you, stick to that. But if there's something you want to try it in moderation, see if you like it, and then add that to your diet. Another thing that I want to mention is that it is important for us to be able to stabilize our energy and our blood sugar levels, especially blood sugar levels, when we're seeing that our insulin hormone may not be as, how do I say? I don't want to say it doesn't work as well, but some of us have noticed that our blood sugar levels rise, but nothing has changed in our diet. In that case, please make sure you are getting your blood sugar levels tested, your hemoglobin A1C tested. Make sure that you are not approaching a pre-diabetic level, because you would be surprised how many women and men are doing the same thing over and over with regards to their diet and their exercise, but they're finding that their blood levels and their lab tests are looking a little off. So make sure you get your blood level checked out and talk to your provider to see if everything is okay. Now, whole grains, fiber-rich foods, the leafy green vegetables, the whole grains, the nuts, seeds, and the beans are going to be very good for you in that respect. They help to prevent blood sugar crashes and also keep you satiated, to help you also prevent mood swings throughout the day. Think about long-term health. When I talk about these foods, this is not something that you're going to try for the week. These are things that you're going to introduce into your diet and keep them consistent within your diet, because it's the consistency that's going to pay off in the end, especially with regards to the gut-brain connection, your gut microbiome, your gut health, and your long-term brain health. You want to start eating healthily and getting rid of those foods that are causing you the stress and the poor mood and really struggling with your health. So remember to combine healthy eating habits with relaxation techniques or meditation or prayer, as well as exercise. It's very important and crucial that you're able to balance a lifestyle that introduces good habits. I'm not saying, in my previous video, I talked about eating that one cheat meal per week and seeing how you feel after that cheat meal. But I was hoping to get across the message that deprivation can cause some problems. You don't want to feel like you are depriving yourself from certain foods that you enjoy, but think of ways that you can enjoy certain types of food. Maybe it's that one meal during the week that you're going to try, or maybe you're going to modify that meal so it's not deep fried, but perhaps air fried, for example, or you're going to swap out your French fries for sweet potato fries, for example. So give that video a watch. Let's give that video a boost and see how it plays into your overall health and diet. So I hope that the information in this video has been very helpful and beneficial for you. I do want you to just keep in mind that mood is impacted by many things. Some things you don't have the control over. But with food, I want you to try your best to start eating healthily and introducing all of those key nutrients that are going to be good for you. So I hope that the video has been very beneficial for you. Let me know in the comments. I do thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.